Yeah. And if people say they are not even to for you, you come right. Come on, I will say, okay, well, you don't think I'm look up. No, you have issue on. She has the I come right off. So you stop still. Welcome to Let's Connect. Sorry for our tardiness this afternoon, but we were experiencing a lot of technical difficulties. I am not even sure if persons have been able to connect to our Facebook Live link. We're having quite a bit of issues today. Once again, my apologies. So we're in a different location. We're hoping that our equipment is working. I am not able to access camera at the moment, so I am not even sure if persons can see me or not. Okay, I think I just got the live. So I'll be sharing out the live link for everybody that I usually do. Apologies. Like I said, we're a bit tardy today, plus experiencing some technical difficulties. I want to say a special good afternoon to all our members and constituents in all the various parts of Soufriere, especially those of coming from Force-Jacques, Mini, Belvedere, Saint Philippe, Boisden, Belfort, Deville, Espérance, Belleplaine, Font-Joli, Mont-Lacroix, Chateaubelair. Good afternoon to you guys out there in Zeno. Welcome to those of you from Conabet. Thanks for joining us on Let's Connect. Those of you coming out of Sulphur Springs, Fort-Caco, Diamond, Bouton, Etangs, Margaret Tooth. Welcome to Let's Connect. Fort Beignet, New Development, Wingsville, Church Street. Big up to those of you at Church Street, Smoke Hill, the Gulf, Lenny's Hill, and also always giving a big shout out to Barron's Drive. Thank you so very much for joining us on Let's Connect. And I want to we have some bad news to share. Unfortunately, we want to announce the death of Edward Dusauzay of New Development. I always used to shout him out. He was one of our biggest supporters of this program. Condolences going out to the Dusauzay family of New Development and the whole of Soufriere. Also, we want to announce the passing of Paul of Fort-Caco. We wish the families all the very best in this trying time. I am hopeful that my guest is on already. Let's see. Good evening, Ms. Dawes. Are you there?
I'm here.
Let me see if
Good
we
evening,
can.
everybody.
I'm not hearing anything, so I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Ms. Dawes, you there?
Yes,
can you
I
hear
am.
Me?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Let's Connect. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Happy to be here.
All right. Hope you had a wonderful Tuesday.
It was a long day, but it was good.
How's your Tuesday going so far?
I had a lot of classes, but I survived. So overall, it was a good day.
Oh, I think she's having internet issues as well. Today has been a day of issues all around. Ms. Dawes, I'm just going to ask the question and hopefully you'll be able to hear me and then you'll respond. So I wanted us to introduce you to our public. If you could give us a brief introduction, tell us your name, your profession, a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Katia Dawes. I'm a teacher by profession, and I also run a small business called Craftsika.
What do you do for a living?
I teach science and math at Coram Secondary School.
Mm-hmm. We realize that you're having a bit of a connection issue today. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Let me try again just now.
I don't think there's anything we can do on our end.
Is that any better?
I want to say good afternoon to those of you on our live. Welcome to Let's Connect. Those of you who have been able to
I'm not
wait
hearing
and
anything.
come on joining us. Thank you so very much. I can see you, Ms. Dawes. I see you now. I'm seeing you. I'm being able to connect to the link. So
can you hear me now?
See if we'll be able to complete our interview this afternoon. So Ms. Dawes is also a teacher at the Coram Secondary School.
I don't want to say the wrong things and say what she's teaching. I do believe she teaches the sciences and mathematics. So maybe some science in there, integrated science, because I know she's into robotics. So I'm not sure what subject she's teaching at the moment. She's a qualified teacher. I've known Miss Dawes for many, many years. We first met when we walked the halls of St. Joseph's Convent together in the year 2000. So we've known each other for 22 years. And she's definitely been able to embody what it is to be a full-time working mother, entrepreneur, hustler, all of the above. She has two girls, two daughters. Can you hear me, Katya? Katya, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, we're still not able to hear from her as yet. The connection issues seem to be persisting. Um, Katya also owns her. Hello, Katya. Did we lose her? Okay, she's experiencing a lot of connectivity issues, and we ourselves were late. Once again, let me apologize. So, I
I'm
was
checking
about to
if
say that,
it's
as
my,
far as I know, in terms of some
it
of
might
Katya.
be my audio.
Okay, I'm hearing you now.
Thing.
Hi,
I have no sounds.
I can hear you, but you're not hearing me, Katya. Okay, I don't think she's hearing me. Okay, I think today's Let's Connect has been we tried. I don't know if we should maybe reschedule and try to get back next week. We've already lost 30 minutes. What do you say? I'm leaving it up to my tech. Can we continue like this? I'm not sure. Miss Dawes, are you there? I think what we might do is have to cut her off, and then I'll give the information that I have about her for now. And we might have to maybe pre-record her interview and play it at some other point. Okay, because we're on Sunday coming, the 8th of May. And I'm still trying to feature as many entrepreneurs as possible. So while Katia is a full-time mother and teacher, and she also takes on side issues like science fair. Like I said, she does robotics. She had this wonderful campaign where they were able to secure a 3D printer for the school, and so many other wonderful things that she does. I feel like sometimes she's a super mom. And she also has her own business called Crafty Cat, which you can check out on Instagram and Facebook. So she's very creative. She does party decorations. She does the
Can you
dazzle.
hear me now?
Me now? I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, let's give it a go while we're able to hear each other. Okay, so I was just giving everybody a little bit of a background in terms of what you do craft
Right.
wise. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're working on now, some of the things you've done in the past.
Sure. When I started with resin, and I started doing resin keychains a few years ago. And then I branched out into paper crafts, so cake toppers and pop-up cards and things of that nature. And now I'm getting into customized glasses and tumblers. I really want to get into tumblers with a difference. So I'm looking at 3D tumblers, one of a kind
Okay.
tumblers.
Did we lose you or are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I think we lost her again. When you get back in, just jump back in. I'll keep talking. So as soon as you get back, just talk. Okay. So like she was saying, so if you check out her Instagram, you'll see a lot of her products being displayed. She does things for Father's Day, birthdays, birthday parties, events. So like she said, she does cake toppers, she does invitations, decorations, gifts, gift sets, and she's usually able to put you in touch with anybody in case she cannot do something. She's willing to put you in touch with somebody.
Testing,
Um,
am I back?
yes, you're back. Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes. So tell us some more about. You said now you're at Bedazzle glasses and tumblers.
Yes, so I do the blink glasses and gems.
Oh, we got cut off
Tumblers is
again.
we got cut off again.
Okay,
Oh
I think
my
maybe we
goodness.
should skip the topic of the thing. So when you come back on, show us some of the things that you have, if you can hear me. So start showing us some of the things that you're able to show us on camera. In the meantime, okay, I still think maybe we should because I really want you to answer some of the motherhood questions, because that was one of my biggest things for today. I wanted us to encourage moms, single mothers, persons who feel like they cannot do it all, that there is always a way to have a work-life balance. I really wanted that to be the focus of our show today. So we may have to.
I lost you again. Testing. I have no audio from you. Can you hear me? I have no audio from you.
To bring you back a quality show next week, Tuesday. Thank you so very much for joining us on Let's Connect. We do apologize once again.
I just got audio back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I don't know if I can see you. Okay, let's see if we're going to be able to make it work. Okay, can you show us some of the products on camera while we have you?
Sure. So these are some of my original designs. I have a spray bottle which says "Hater Be Gone."
Hater Be Gone, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what's on it. I hope everybody can see anything.
These are really popular. These are my scrubs. A lot of people like these. We tend to have a lot of health professionals getting these to either wear on the keychain or their badge reel. I also do letters, birthday pins, badges, basically anything crafty.
Okay, do you have the Heineken bottle openers?
I have none right now, but yes, I do create those. A lot of local brands, bottle openers, coasters, things of that nature.
Okay, so let's take a break from talking about the products. You're very good at sewing and baking as well. I wanted to touch on that a little bit. Do you still do your cupcakes?
Occasionally for friends. I don't do it in terms of business anymore because it takes up so much time. And it was one of the ventures that I got into when I was trying to figure out a way to supplement my income as a parent, which is something a lot of parents have to do. At the end of the day, multiple income is the way to go.
Right.
So yeah, I did catering for a while. I tried out so many different things until I found a niche that fit me, which was crafts.
Okay. Now you said that a lot of parents have to do that now. Why do you think that is that a lot of parents have to supplement their income? Because somebody will say you're a teacher in a secondary school. Why is it that you have to be doing a side business?
Um, realistically, if you look at the cost of living and how expensive it is to have children and to care for them in a manner where they have just what they need, you find that a lot of parents have a hard time making ends meet, and they have to find ways to supplement their income in order to take on the additional expenses of childcare. Because it's not just sending them to school, you want them to participate in activities. You want them to have the quote unquote luxuries. We just came through a pandemic, everybody had to have a device. Um, these are all the things that come up. Healthcare is expensive when you have kids. You need to be able to afford these things. And one of the ways you do that is by having multiple incomes.
Great. I have here that I wanted to ask you if you feel like a superhero because giving birth it seems to trigger something in the women, an extra level of determination that you just have to because there's not just you anymore. There's a child involved. There's another life that you're taking care of. Does it make you feel like you had to put on a cape almost and become a superhero and do what you had to do?
Yes, and it also means you're super tired as well as being a superhero. Um, but it just becomes something that you have to do. So your kids have to eat, they have to go to school, that they need emotional support as children, they need encouragement. It's just something you have to do. It no longer becomes a job, it's just a way of life.
You say you know that they have to have emotional support. I would like
Hmm.
to beg to differ that a lot of parents don't know that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you would agree with me, but is it something that you would be frustrated about with parents that they don't understand all the needs of their children have to be met
I
and how
I think that
needs?
being a teacher has made me a better parent because working with children, you get to see so many things that they lack in terms of parental support. So when I became a parent myself, there were so many things that I was cautious about on how to take care of my own children.
How do you think we can counteract that in terms of regular parents who are not teachers who don't get to see it from both sides like you did? How can we introduce something to assist? Is it something that has to be like a program that the teachers have to teach the parents, or is it something that maybe that can be done in hospitals? Is it something where we need to ask parents to go to see counseling? What can we do to assist in those levels of?
I think there needs to be some sort of parent support groups, especially for new parents, because you have a case where a lot of times when you're young and you have kids, everybody has advice for you. Don't do this, give the baby this, don't give the baby that. But at the end of the day, you have to choose what suits your situation and your child. And sometimes it's good to have other parents whose children are the same age as yours to interact and trade, I would say, trade secrets with. Okay, I tried this method and it works. Okay, well, that didn't work for me, but I did this and it works. Because if you try to take advice from everybody around you, it causes a lot of confusion because your grandmother says don't do this, but your auntie is saying do this, but your other friend is saying do this, and you have to figure out what works for you. So I feel we need some sort of support groups for parents, especially first time parents. Because trust me, it's like you don't know what you're doing. When you have a second and third, as all had you've been through the process, baptism through fire. But your first child is scary, it's daunting. They send you home. I was like, I have to go home with the baby. There, there's no class, there's no handbook, there's no parents guide. So
Well, that would be a nice challenge to write a guide for first time parents. I think that's something that maybe somebody should look into, especially a local person like a St. Lucian who has
yes,
experienced what it is to be a first time parent in St. Lucia. You know, a nice millennial project, if you will. Maybe a group of parents should come
I
together,
think so.
something like that.
I think it would help, especially if the younger women have their first kid, it would help.
I'm hearing your daughter in the background.
Yes, my minions are always with me and they're right here. So if you hear any untoward noises, they're just having the time of their lives behind me.
Yeah, that's good. At least they're having the time of their lives. That's wonderful though that they're happy. They sound happy. It's good to know that your children are happy. I think that's a nice sense of accomplishment.
It is, it is. It makes you feel like you're doing something right.
So, what are some of your personal frustrations with life as a mom? What are some of the things you feel frustrated by?
I think when you become a mom, some people tend to lose themselves, and society doesn't help because they see you dressing up and they're like, aren't you a mom? Why would you wear this? Why are your lashes that long? Why do you have braids? I'm still a woman. I still like to feel cute. I mean, life doesn't stop when you become a mother. You just have to adapt it. So I think one of the frustrations is we judge too harshly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Moms are moms, so they are also people too. They will have hobbies, they want to enjoy themselves, they want to dress up, they still want to live. And our society doesn't tends to frown on that a bit, which is unfair.
I agree because I would not want anybody to think that I am not myself anymore when I used to do all the things.
Exactly.
So you're still the same person. You just happen to be a mom now.
You just have attachment.
You're like an email. You have an attachment.
Yes.
Okay. So what can you say about fathers' roles in the lives of their children in
Oh,
general in society today?
oh boy. I might ruffle a few feathers, but we need to stop glamorizing men doing the bare minimum
Mm-hmm.
because you have a father just taking care of his children. Oh my God, he's babysitting. He's such a good dad. No, he's a parent. He's doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, it's both people that's supposed to be interacting in this child's life. I think we need to hold men accountable and let them be responsible for more. It's not just providing, okay? It's emotional. It's not just buying the milk and the cereal. They have to be there. They should be there for the birthdays. They should be there for the accomplishments of the child. It's not just the mom 24/7. So I think fathers need to step up. Now there are plenty good fathers. I'm not bashing men. There are plenty good fathers that play active roles in their children's lives, and you see the difference when you teach. You see the difference between children who have active parents and children who don't. Even in the way they express themselves, they're still confident. Um, they feel comfortable expressing themselves. Um, they feel okay if they fail sometimes because they know they have the support of both parents. And whereas where you have a child with in a single parent household, they want to be perfectionists because they feel like they don't want to fail. And as a teacher, you can see it. As a parent, you can see it as well. So I think men need to be held more accountable. They need to play a more active role. It's not just providing financially, it's also emotionally and being physically present.
Okay. I find that with social media, you tend to see they feature two types of men when it comes to fatherhood. You find that there is the man who doesn't do much, and then the one time he's asked to do something, he fails miserably, and never gets asked to do anything again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find the fathers who want to do so well, who want to do something so badly that even when they can't do it exactly the same way, they will find some sort of way around it. Like I saw, there's a popular thing of fathers using the vacuum to pull the child's head together to put it into a
To put in
ponytail.
a ponytail, yeah.
And I always used to be like, why is that so difficult to put your child's hair in a ponytail? Like, is that really something that a father has to hack for? What?
I think sometimes men weaponize incompetence. It might not be deliberate, but they tend to, if you give them a task and they don't do it, they fail at it so that they don't have to do it again.
Okay,
Sometimes
so
it's a deliberate thing.
it's a thing. Okay.
Yeah, like if I comb my hair crazy once, they'll never ask me to comb my hair again. So I'm going to escape that task. But there are men who genuinely do try. I mean, some of them just don't have the skills. There are fundamental differences between men and women, and women tend to have an eye for things and men don't, even when dressing children. Because my girls, if their father suggests them to go anyway, he's just the first thing he grab in his hand, he put it on. And moms will try to match. I want the shirt to match the pants, and I'll wear that shoe and that hat. And dads can't be bothered. Whatever fits goes on, and they think it's fine.
I totally see that. And well, it's interesting to see. I will have to I don't know if I which one I would prefer. If I'd prefer for the man to deliberately fail so that he never gets to do it again, or if I would want him to be ready, willing to do it, but he'll do it badly and be proud of himself. I don't know which one I'd prefer. But at least we at least if they're trying, we're applauding that.
Yes, we always applaud effort.
Like you said, there's a benefit when a child has both parents in their lives. They're more confident, they're more able to speak their minds and express themselves. So that's definitely a plus. So kudos to the fathers who are playing a role in the lives of their children.
Yes, definitely.
So what would you contribute to the way you've been able to cope with the pressures of life? I mean, you're teaching, you're running your side business, you have your two daughters at home with you, and you still try and have a social life, I would assume. So what would you attribute to the way you're being able to cope with the whole structure of your life?
I would say careful planning. You have to be okay with not succeeding at everything, because there are some days I get home from work, the girls are fed, they're in bed by 9 o'clock, they had dinner, I'm ready for the next day. Wonderful. And there are some days it's 9 o'clock, the girls have to get to bed, they just ate, I haven't ironed yet. I have things to do, I have papers to grade. So I think it's a balance. You try to plan as much as you can, but you have to be okay with failing sometimes. Sometimes there are things that are not going to get done. And I think we need to tell moms that that's okay. You may not be able to pack the lunch bag perfectly with the fruits and the home cooked meals, but your children are fed. You may not be able to afford the matchy outfits with everything head to toe in the same print, but your children are clothed. Um, it's okay. Some things are not going to get done, and you have to be okay with that. I think also self-care too. You must take time out for yourself. You must do things for yourself as a mom, as a parent. Your mental health is very important, because if you are not at your best, you cannot be a good parent. If you're frustrated, you find you might be unnecessarily short or angered with your children because of your frustrations, and that's not healthy. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to either, it doesn't have to be anything fancy or expensive. Having a cup of tea after the children go to sleep, reading a few chapters of from an author you love, um, having a nice bubble bath, or maybe taking some time to pamper yourself with some products, exfoliate and moisturize after your shower. Take that time for yourself. It doesn't have to be a massage or something extravagant like dinner. It can be simple things that you do for yourself. Making your favorite food. on a Sunday preparing something you love. Little things like that help you keep your peace.
Okay. I honestly thought you would tell me drinking a whole bottle of wine.
Occasionally, yes. Occasionally,
Originally,
yes.
self would mean drinking a bottle of wine. So
um,
that's your mom. That's my advice as a non-mom. Go get yourself a bottle of wine. That's my advice to you. I don't know how you'll do it sober in the first place.
let me tell you, it's an adventure
Every day must be an adventure when you have two daughters.
every day. And then it's worse when they have smart mouths. So it's like you battling your own attitude twice. Prayers and patience. And
I
I
love
know they have a lot of moms that will probably agree with me. Sometimes you argue with your kids and you see that you're arguing with yourself. And it gets you more upset because like why am I arguing with me right now?
Well, I guess that it's true what they say that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
It does not. And the apple tree don't make mangoes. So sometimes what you get, you have to take it.
I like that. I like the way you put that. I like that. Okay, so what advice can you give to parents? Well, I mean, you've given quite a bit of advice there in terms of self-care and but in terms of general parenting, especially coming from a teacher's point of view, what are some
Hmm.
of the things you can advise parents that they should maybe do in terms of raising their children in a little in a better direction?
I would say be open. Um, talk to your child a lot. Make them feel comfortable speaking to you. Sometimes you want advice from other people about our children, and really and truly it could be solved by just speaking to your child. Having them comfortable enough to express themselves, to let you know what's going on. I think sometimes we forget that they're children and they haven't achieved that level of mental stability where they can process things like adults. So they might blow over something so minor. Like, why are you crying over a pencil? But we don't understand that for them, the importance of that pencil is so much in their little minds, right? And I think sometimes we have to actually almost go back to being a child to understand where our children are coming from. And being able to do that is important.
I like that. I I can remember a little bit being very attached to certain things when I was younger.
Yep.
I remember when Lisa Frank was a big deal,
Oh,
and
I
you
had
would
the stickers and all.
when you would get the pencil topper, the big eraser, and you didn't want anybody to use it. You didn't want to get it dirty. You wouldn't want anybody touching it. And the minute somebody would tell you they borrow it and they can't find it or you cannot get it,
Heartbreak.
you would be crying for hours. You'd be sobbing. I remember that sort of attachment to an eraser that I never ever tried to use. I remember that. I remember being so attached to the big rose shaped erasers I used to have on top of my
Mm-hmm.
head.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm looking at that like, why? Why was that such a big deal for me? And it's true. And when you say that, it really makes me think that sometimes we not just to forget that they're children, but forget that they're also human beings, and we need to
Yep.
treat them well. We need to treat them with the same amount of respect we would want somebody to treat us when we were children. We wanted
Yep.
respect from our elders, and we used to feel so belittled when people would belittle us for things like that. So,
Now the
at
thing is,
this point,
finding a balance is hard because it's like as a parent, at what point is your child being assertive versus rude?
right?
Because sometimes they can be rude and you have to correct that. I mean, you're not going to let the children speak to you how they want to. You want them to express themselves in a way that's respectful. You want them to explain their feelings without shouting, using negative language, using profanity, all of these things are no. So I think it's a delicate balance of having them express themselves, but not having them be disrespectful. And I think that's where, as a parent, you have to toe the line a little bit in what you allow and what you don't allow. So, yes, you can speak to me and express yourself, but you're going to use an even tone of voice. You're not going to shout. We're not going to shout at each other. And you're going to express your feelings, and I'm going to express mine.
How young do you think is too young to be disciplining a child? because I've recently read about it was something addressed to teachers where they're saying that if you're not teaching your child discipline from the age of 2,
Mm-hmm.
then don't expect when they're in a classroom at the age of 10 that they're going to be able to learn discipline at that point.
I think the disciplinary measures you use must match the age of the child.
Mhm.
So, for example, you can tell a 2-year-old, no, don't do that, and there'll be a consequence for it. At 2, you can give them little age appropriate chores that they can do. For example, you finish playing, put your toys away. It's not a task that is too heavy for them, and it's something age appropriate. So I think it's never too early to start discipline wise. Um, it doesn't mean that you have to use corporal punishment. There are so many other methods. Because I myself try to be a soft parent. Some days, oh boy, let me tell you, they test the waters, but you still have to come back around and try to, be that soft parent. Because I think a lot of us don't want to be, we remember what it was like with our parents. A lot of young parents like myself, we remember the things we didn't like, and we try not to do those things. However, some of those things were effective, eh?
Some, yes, some.
No matter how you cut it, some of those methods were very effective, right? Yes, baby, you hear that? But it's finding a balance.
Do we need
And
to
then
give a moment?
no, it's okay. And every child is unique. So with the method you use for one child, sometimes you have the little fireball, and those methods do not work. You have to change the whole program to accommodate the other child. And I'm sure parents who have multiples will agree. They are all unique.
What works for one will not work for the other.
Will not work. It's not a cookie cutter to say, okay, I did this and I can do it again. Nope. Each child comes up with their own ideas that you have to accommodate for.
How does that work in terms of meals? Do you have to be dealing with picky eating? If one does not want peanut butter and jelly, you have to give the other one egg.
Yes. And it's like sometimes you're like, okay, if you eat what I cook, and if you don't eat it, you stay hungry. But then you look at the little eyes, and no parent wants to see their children hungry at the end of the day. No matter how upset you are, you end up sneaking them something to eat anyway. I think it's a matter of making them try as many things as possible, and maybe rotating the food that they eat, because they get bored easily too.
Right.
So you cannot give them rice every day and expect them to. Are they going to be fed up after a while? So I try to mix it up. I try different recipes. I always try to stay within budget, I mean, with the rising cost of food. But try something different. Try a new recipe. Try to prepare the chicken a different way. Maybe try a different type of fish. I still fight with mine to eat their vegetables. It's a trial. I have to blend it and disguise it all kind of ways for them to be able to eat it. But you try different methods. And I think that's why if we had more support groups as parents, we would find more ways to combat these things. Because a parent might tell you, um, I tried this and they ate it well. I was able to disguise the pumpkin in a soup and they had no problems eating it. But we can only get these ideas when we share with other parents and when we interact with other parents. So if we had more avenues for interaction with parents of same age children, I think it would help a lot.
And you would think that in times like this, when we have so much technology, that this would be something that's more commonplace, that we would have more outreach
Yes.
for parents of certain ages. Because we send all sorts of nonsense on WhatsApp. Some accident cannot happen in Miku and I would not know about it 5 minutes later in Soufriere. Because
Exactly.
social media already, but we don't share the valuable information. We don't find ways to commune with persons who are going through the same things with us. We don't extend ourselves in those manners, but we find all ways to share things that don't make any sense.
Pretty much.
That's the unfortunate truth of the matter. I'm not sure if, in terms of when it comes to cooking, how much diversity in terms of the children, because like you said, you have to find ways, and then by the time you do it today, they like it today, you cannot do it a week from now. They don't like it anymore. Did I lose you?
Yeah. No, I'm still here.
Yes. So when it comes to food wise, I think that maybe I might be wrong, but it seems like parents spend more money on food than regular people.
Yes. Yes. Especially when you take into account snacks for school, the budget is higher than somebody living on their own.
Because even today I was in the supermarket and I ran into my godson's mom, and I'm saying to her casually, "You're picking up snacks for my boy?" I was like, she cannot even buy too many snacks because he'll eat it today and tomorrow he'll not eat it. So she cannot even take more than
Yep.
something. So you find you're in the supermarket more often and you're spending more money because you cannot buy in bulk, because they will probably not eat the thing you buy in bulk tomorrow. So imagine
Yep.
buying bulk cereal thinking the child will eat it today, and then you have to go and look for a different kind of cereal
Yep.
tomorrow.
And then you end up eating it.
So
I think sometimes parents have the worst diet because we eat everything that they don't eat.
we eat the leftovers. You'll eat
We
the
eat the
leftovers.
leftovers.
Whatever they don't touch, you have to pass back and eat.
Yeah, because I hate to see food being wasted. So imagine you cook an entire pan of food and they're like, mm-mm.
I swear,
I
I was
I
babysitting.
tried I tried there was a week I tried tacos, and it was something different, something new. And the girls ate, and after they ate, my little one says, "Okay, mommy, where's the real food? Where's the chicken and the rice?" I was like,
Oh my
"What?"
gosh. Oh my gosh. She's talking about her littlest daughter, that's Evie,
Yes.
and Evie is the mouth. I that Evie says. I don't know how anybody can keep a straight face around Evie,
She has a
because
big character.
she will say whatever that comes into mind. She will not hold back. She has no filter. So
None.
I can't
We're
believe
working on it. We're working on it, though. We're working on it.
you'll have to try burritos for her next time. That way she can have the chicken and the rice within it.
I
So
I
give
think
her
so.
burritos. I would love to be around them more often for me to. I think that's the one thing I might have a lot of fun with, is the playing around with what they will eat today or tomorrow, playing around in the kitchen, trying and like do testing of food. I feel like that would be fun for me because I like to
Mm.
eat, so I like to play around with food. So trying to figure out what a child wants to eat today versus tomorrow, how their buds work. Maybe it might even have something to do with their mood at the time. So I think I would enjoy that aspect of it.
It requires a little creativity.
Yeah.
And
And just
honestly, I know the single moms, they do it excellently. They can turn a meal that they turned in eat into another meal tomorrow.
so we did a whole month of celebrating women in March, and I think that women are one of those creatures God really put extra work into, because we are capable of so much things. We're capable of loss, we're capable of love, we're capable of tragedy, we're capable of immense wondrous miracles. So is there any advice or any message that you want to give out to women in general, not necessarily mothers, but just women? From one woman to another, give out a message for women.
Um, I think we should embrace femininity. It's okay to be strong, but it's also okay to be delicate. It's okay to be girly. It's okay to be fancy. And if that's not your cup of tea, then that's not your cup of tea. It's okay to be who you are. I think we tend to look at too much at what other women are doing and use it as a standard. And the most important thing is being you. So
Thank
if you have to be you radically, then do it.
Awesome. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? Giving you a couple more minutes. So late.
Special shout out, yeah, to the current secondary school and all the teachers there, my workmates and my students. And that's about it. Hi, mommy. I think she's listening. But that's about it.
Hi, Mrs. Dawes. All right. So, Katia, thanks so much for joining us on our Let's Connect program today. I wish we would have had more time for us
I
to be.
know. Thank you for having me. Even though we had some issues in the beginning, I enjoyed it. I had fun.
I'm happy that you were able to come on, and I think you definitely brought on such wonderful messages in terms of parenting and advice for parents. And I think we really should try and embolden our women more to, like you said, embrace their femininity, and definitely keep raising your girls the way you're raising them. They're going to be wonderful additions to society. And we
Thank you.
definitely hope that everything goes well with you in the future. Thanks so very much for joining us. I appreciated it so very much today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So once again, thanks everybody for listening to Let's Connect. Those of you who joined us via Facebook Live, we have about 15 persons in our live. I want to say a special good evening to Smith Philip, Krishna Alexander, Calixto Joseph, always locked on from Etongs, Miss Cheryl William from New Development, thanks so very much. Belinda Mitchell, thanks for joining us. Swellen Ogis, Nicholas Alcendo, thanks so much for joining us all the way from the UK. Thanks so much everybody who stayed with us, even though we were having so much technical difficulties in the beginning. Until next week, we're going to be having hopefully a problem-free show for you guys. So till then, bye.